Hello and welcome to the Beyond Boundaries series. Today we are joined by Gary Leyden. Gary, hello.
Hi, how are you?
I am well. And so Gary, we don't know one another brilliantly, but I know my team know you really well. Are a massive fan of your association, so InsTech.ie, is that said right?
That's correct, yeah.
Good. And so today I want to dive into who you guys are, your connection to the ecosystem, the role you play, etc. Let's start with the best bit, right? Which is like the founder's story, the origin story. How, why, and sort of the journey to InsTech.ie for you. Tell me more.
Yeah,
Who's
sure.
Gary?
Okay, so we're actually a relatively young organisation. We're only a little over 3 years old. And we were set up to establish Ireland as a global hub of insurance innovation. Right. How I got involved was I actually come from outside the insurance industry, so my background is very much in the investment space, investing in early stage technology companies. And I bumped into the CEO of an Irish insurance company who said, we really struggle with innovation.
Okay.
And he said, how do we bring the world of the technology into the world of insurance?
Yeah.
We started discussing it as every great Irish idea over a pint, and out of that came the idea for InsTech.ie.
Wonderful. How long was that journey of that, sort of incubating that idea to actually executing?
Well, actually,
because
I'd been working in early stage tech investment, and it was always a frustration for me, particularly around fintech, is that we had some very strong established incumbent industries that were just not engaging with the vibrant early stage innovative tech companies that I was investing in. So it was always a passion of mine to try and make those two worlds connect. Mm-hmm. And then when actually we connected in a pub, we could really start to see how we could do something specifically for insurance.
Okay, and so tell me, so what do you do, right, as InsTech.ie, because every, I don't know, are you an association, is that the right label to call it?
We're a not-for-profit.
Yeah.
We position ourselves as a connector, so we sit in the middle of what is a very nascent ecosystem. So all the stakeholders that have a vested interest in building Ireland's reputation as this place of innovation, insurers, regulators, insurtechs, investors, our education establishments, the universities, the research centres, all of those, we sit in the middle and make the appropriate connections.
Okay, and tell me, how's the last 3 years been? I mean, I'm assuming in absence of you guys, it's been a welcome, welcome treat for the Irish community, right? You coming together, and just from your numbers alone, it seems to have grown and got a good cadence to it.
Yeah, absolutely. So we started with what we call a coalition of the willing. So we're backed by the insurance industry. Yep. So we're backed by insurers. So we started with 10 insurance companies. We're now 21.
10's a great number off the bat, right?
Yeah, it was fantastic. And to be fair to the CEOs in those companies, they took a leap of faith. Mm-hmm. Is we had to figure out, well, what is this thread that binds us all together? And the challenge is everybody's transformation journey is individual. Yeah. So it isn't a one size fits all. So we had to build a platform that can kind of flex around their needs. But at the same time, Ireland is a small open economy. For our insurtechs, they're much more interested in about the global opportunity. Sure. So how do we support them to grow into international markets? And
the next obvious question is, how do you support them to grow into international markets?
So we're supported by one of our enterprise agencies, Enterprise Ireland. But one of the big things is, how do we build networks that actually help their growth, help their validation? So we attend a lot of shows like ITC. We have a physical presence where we actually bring over insurtechs and really showcase the type of insurtechs that are coming out of Ireland. We run accelerator programs. We have an international mentor panel. We have a pool of investors that we work with as well.
I love it. And are you seeing some successes? I mean, like, there's some great insurtech in Ireland. And it's, as you say, it's not just within Ireland, right? So we're seeing like the partnerships go to instruct, investment activity coming in from overseas, etc. Are you seeing that? Is that improving for you guys? Are you influencing that role in the market?
Look, I wouldn't be so cheeky to say we take the credit.
Yeah, go on.
It's always down to the founders, and we have some amazing founders in Ireland. I think uniquely, because Ireland is that small economy, our founders think global from day one. Yeah. The nature of our insurance industry is also very international as well. So the majority of insurance companies in Ireland are part of a group. Yeah. So we have access to those international organisations as well. Yeah. And a lot of those insurance companies actually service the international market from Ireland. So 9 out of the top 10 reinsurers are servicing the international market from Ireland.
Okay, that's super interesting, isn't it? What was I going to ask? There's one of your portfolio, if I'm right in thinking, just this morning. So we were recording this, where are we? Late May? We're at ITC, Amsterdam, that's all I know. My dates are all over the place. Got investment today, am I right in thinking?
Yeah, a really exciting company called Cota. So they're building a platform for the health and benefits space,
yes.
Which is a really complicated space. But they just raised 15 million today. They just announced that this morning. So Plug and Play, or one of the investors that are in there.
Yeah, super nice. So there's money still to be had, right, for these guys. How you found? I mean, like having been relatively new into this space, a few years only, and with your investment background, I mean, it's a hell of a time to be playing in this space, right? We've been a bit of a roller coaster over the last 3 years for sure. Yeah. How have you found it? How have you found those changes? Where are things at right now?
Look, I think the early stage is always counter-cyclical, so when in any downturn, that's usually the best time to start. So that's always a great time to do it. There's always a challenge around scaling. Scaling into the insurance industry is even more challenging. That it's that little bit slower as well. But I think if you're fixing a big problem, if you've validated that, there's always going to be an opportunity for you.
Yeah, nice. I found anything, as you talked about the health and benefits space, are you finding any particular trends within your cohorts? Any particular area? I mean, like AI is obviously a huge focus area. So we're at, as I say, an ITC at Amsterdam at the moment. You can't move for that conversation. Are you seeing any particular patterns or trends or technologies that are being embraced by your cohort or that are being looked for by your carriers and your brokers?
Yeah, there's a number of areas, and we've got some leading examples in each of those spaces. So I think parametric insurance, it's definitely at a tipping point now where it's really starting to grow. And we've got some great companies like Blink Parametric that are based in Ireland, and we also have Exante, who just launched into the US.
Nice.
Embedded insurance. Coincidentally, Paul Prendergast from Cana is building an embedded SME insurance product. He was originally the founder of Blink, and he's going again with this. So absolutely. Okay, I think AI, again, coming from outside the industry, I just look at all the data that sits in insurance companies jealously. If only we could have access to that.
So it screams opportunity, right?
Yeah, it's the industry's unfair advantage, and I think being able to really capitalize on that is what AI is all about doing and enabling.
What about, so you talked about your connections into and support from Ireland, I can't remember, Enterprise Ireland, wasn't it?
Yeah.
What about other insurtech associations on a global basis? Because it's really interesting seeing how many are popping up or have popped up over the years and the different roles that they are playing in this ecosystem. Do you guys connect with others? And do you have, I don't know, it's not necessarily a strategic alliance, but some kind of partnership of sorts?
Yeah, I think we kind of have a loose relationship with lots of different organizations that are similar to us. So I suppose probably characterize it as co-opetition. Is yes, we're all trying to make our own ecosystem, the global hub, but we all also want to get into other markets, so we partner with like-minded people. So the likes of Kobe and InsurTech Israel, InsurTech UK with Melissa. We partnered last year with 14 other organizations, and we brought a number of insurtechs to Des Moines. Really a kind of an intensive boot camp, and we'll be doing that again in Munich this year.
Okay, lovely, And I think Kobe's going to be there with his crew. So we interviewed him, previously on the Beyond Boundaries. And then tell me what's next for you guys. So other than heading off to Munich, what's next for for InsTech.ie? Like, where are you going on your journey? Any new, augmenting the business in any way?
Yeah, so there's a number of flagship projects that we're launching over the next month or so. So we're launching an accelerator to really prime the pump of the next generation of Irish insurtechs to come out of Ireland. We're also going to launch a digital sandbox just to try and help the industry experiment a bit more, so give it a safe place to actually try out these new technologies and new business models. And we're also starting to explore how we actually bring a number of insurers together to work on collaborative challenges. So we'd like to facilitate the co-creation of a shared solution for some of the big challenges like digital identity or fraud, where it actually makes sense for insurers to work together rather than compete with each other.
Well, I think I could spend hours just talking about those last two in particular. I'm not going to. I'm going to say a big thank you, Gary. Really appreciate your time. Thank you to all of you guys who have tuned in for the Beyond Boundaries interview series. And next week there'll be another interview being launched. So a big thanks. Thanks, Gary. We'll see you soon.
Cheers.